Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you might be the story that changes your life forever. Imagine a boy standing on the rooftop of a broken house, staring at a sky full of stars, dreaming of a future he had no right to dream. If you want to know how this poor student invented a future not just for himself, but for thousands of others, then stay till the last second. And before we start, show some love. Like this video, and subscribe to the channel. Slow and steady win the race. Now let's begin, because his journey begins in darkness. Darkness he refused to stay in. Armand was a boy from a small village where the nights were darker than most people's fears. No electricity for hours, no clean water, and no hope that tomorrow would be any different. His father, a laborer, struggled to feed the family. His mother stitched clothes late into the night just to earn a little extra. Armand studied under the dim light of a kerosene lamp, coughing from the smoke, but his eyes burned with a fire that even poverty couldn't extinguish. He walked 5 kilometers to school every morning, rain or heat, barefoot sometimes because his shoes had long given up. His classmates mocked him for his old uniform, for carrying books tied with a string instead of a bag. But Armand kept listening, to the pages, to the formulas, to the world inside the books that promised a future beyond dust and hunger. One day, his science teacher announced a national competition. Invent something that solves a real problem. The prize was a scholarship. Armand froze. A scholarship meant not just education, it meant possibility. It meant escape. But how could a boy with no money, no tools, and barely any space to study create an invention? That night, as he sat outside staring at the stars, he noticed something. A group of children studying under a streetlight because their homes didn't have electricity. Their faces looked tired, shadows stretching long, but their determination glowed. That moment carved itself into his heart. "If I fix this," he whispered, "I fix everything." Armand started reading everything he could about solar energy. He borrowed old newspapers, picked discarded wires from garbage heaps, and asked shopkeepers for broken batteries they didn't need. He built a tiny solar charger on the floor of his house, his fingers stained with grease and scratches. His father worried. "Armand, why waste time? You should help me at work." But Armand looked up with firm eyes and said, "Abba, I'm building something that will help all of us." His father didn't understand at first, but he saw the determination, the sleepless nights, and silently decided not to stop him anymore. Days turned into weeks. Armand's invention started taking shape, an affordable solar-powered lamp made from recyclable materials. It was crude, rough, and held together with tape, but it worked. When he switched it on, the lamp glowed softly, and his mother gasped. It wasn't just light, it was hope. Encouraged, Armand created more prototypes, each better than before. He gave one to the children who studied under the streetlight. Their eyes lit up brighter than the lamp. That night, under the same sky that had once mocked him with its distance, Armand smiled for the first time in months. The competition day arrived. Armand traveled to the city, his first time seeing tall buildings and bright lights. He stood among hundreds of students with expensive gadgets, polished presentations, and confidence wrapped in designer clothes. He looked down at his rough model, feeling small and unworthy. But then he remembered the children's faces glowing in his light. He took a deep breath and stepped on the stage. He spoke from the heart, not about circuits or graphs, but about what it meant to create opportunity where none existed, about the power of light in the life of someone who had always lived in darkness. When he finished, the auditorium fell silent. Then the applause hit like a wave. Judges stood up. One of them said, "Young man, you didn't just build a lamp, you built a future." Armand won the competition. He got the scholarship, but that wasn't the end. It was the beginning. News channels covered his story. NGOs reached out. Investors came forward. With support, Armand started a small initiative in his village. He trained local youth to build low-cost solar lamps. Soon, his invention lit homes across the village. Children studied for longer hours. Farmers worked after sunset. Mothers cooked without smoke filling their lungs. His village slowly transformed. Years passed. Armand graduated from a top university. He returned not as a student, but as an inventor, as a leader. He built a company focused on renewable energy solutions, employing hundreds of people from underprivileged backgrounds. His inventions expanded: solar-powered water purifiers, low-cost agricultural sensors, community tech hubs. The boy who once studied under a smoky lamp now lit the path for thousands. His parents watched with tears of pride. The same villagers who once pitied him now celebrated him. Armand stood on the same rooftop where his journey began and whispered, "I told you I would fix this. So if you ever feel too small, too poor, too unseen, remember Armand." He didn't wait for the world to change. He changed it. He didn't accept the darkness. He invented light. And you can invent your future too. All it takes is one idea, one refusal to give up, one decision that today is not the end, it's the beginning. And before you go, if this story inspired you even a little, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Slow and steady win the race. Your support keeps us going, just like Armand kept going. Keep believing, keep dreaming, and keep building the future you deserve.